we're going to do a beautiful classic bridal eye and a pouty lip.
And I'm very excited.
The skin is already prepped. We used moisturizer, and Julissa's brow is already done. She has beautiful brows and gorgeous skin. We didn't have to do much. So I'm just going to start out by spraying her with a little coat leaf for a little extra moisture.
A spa in a bottle.
A spa in a bottle,
That's
absolutely.
what it feels like.
And now we're going to jump right into the eyes. We're going to prep the eye with a little bit of the Danessa Myricks Color Fix. This is shade number 5. Most people have a little discoloration on their lids, and this gives me a blank canvas for eyeshadow. So I'm applying this with a fluffy brush because I don't want too much product on the eye. This can get really heavy and kind of create a mask, which we don't want. We just want to have a nice sheer wash of color to give us a blank canvas. Now I'm just going to go over the eye with a little bit of translucent powder. This is the One Size Beauty powder, and this just kind of reinforces the color fix. I'm going to start the eye with Rare Beauty.
Oh yeah, I can't see myself with a smoky eye thinking about how much I'm gonna end up crying that day.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I always say, do something
Yeah, that's risky.
light, beautiful. One thing that brides should look for when they're trying to book a makeup artist is find somebody that suits your style. Like, not every makeup artist is for everyone, and that's okay.
About how many bridal makeup trials would you recommend?
Honestly, as many as you need. If you are not happy with your first, your second, your third trial, your fifth, sixth, keep going until you find the person that gives you the look that you want. I'm just blending out this bronzer, and I like to take everything back into the temples. That way, when I bronze her face, everything is like nice and harmonious. And I'm just covering the entire lid, but blending as I go up. And then I just use my finger to make sure that everything outside of the temple is blended. That's a pro tip. Your fingers are nice and warm, so they blend products beautifully. So now we're just doing the same thing on the opposite eye, using patting motions to pack on the color. And then when I have enough saturation of color, I will do circle motions to blend, pressing it into the lid to build up the pigment. So I have the color packed onto my liking. So now I'm going to stretch and blend the shadow out towards Julissa's temple, just so we get that nice gradient that fades into her bronzer when I put it on her face. And again, I'm just using my finger to press and blend. And this just ensures that we don't have any harsh lines. Now I'm going in with a little lighter shade, also with the fluffy brush, and blending that into the bronzer that we set down, starting from the inner corner and blending to about a third of the way across the lid. This just gives us a nice transition from lighter from the inner corner to deeper as the shadow transitions across the lid. And with this, you don't have to be too precise. You just want to make sure that you have a nice blend between the light shadow and the deeper bronzer. Now we're going into the Patrick Ta palette. This is the deep Major Dimension Essential Artistry eye palette. We're going to go into a deeper shade. Personally, I'm not a big fan of like harsh liners. I like things to be like very soft and diffused. So I'm going to use this as her liner. Starting on the outer corner of the eye, blending out to the temple, and then into about a third of the way into the eye. I just like to smudge this back and forth. I always recommend for people to do something that is just classic. You want to look at your wedding photos and not be able to tell like what decade this was taken in.
That's really the key right there.
One thing that I really like to do is just have my bride open her eyes and look forward. That way we can kind of see the shapes that we're making. So by looking straight ahead and blending this out, you can see exactly where the lines are going, which is completely different from when your eyes are closed. Things look a little more lifted versus when you open your eyes, especially with Julissa's eye shape, it's a little more round. So things on the ends tend to go down. But if she looks straight ahead and you blend in the direction of her eye, you can give her a little lift. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. And with this, you don't have to be precise. You can just go for it. And then once we have something that kind of looks like this, which looks a little messy, we're gonna go back into our bronzer. With the first brush, we're blending on top of the smoky liner that we just put down. This creates a nice gradient. So going back into the deep Patrick Ta palette, I'm taking the black eyeshadow, and we're going to start at the very base of the lash, and we're just pressing the black eyeshadow into the lash line.
Is this for more definition?
This is just to give it a little more oomph. So taking a clean brush, now we're just going to smudge that black eyeshadow that we already placed on the lid and blend it into the darker brown and pull the color out to the outer corners. One trick that I like to do, I'm going to go back into my deep eyeshadow palette and I'm using an angle brush. I'm lifting the lid one more time and I'm just placing that color on the inside of the eye. So that gives the illusion of liner, but it's eyeshadow. Again, very soft. So a tip that I like to do is just take a moisturizer, put it on a wedge, and clean up the under eye, but then also use it to carve out our smoky liner. I like to do it this way instead of using a makeup wipe, just because I find that a lot of makeup wipes, they leave residue on the skin, and then you go and you put makeup on top of it, and it just doesn't stick, and it gets a little funky. It just adds a little more hydration to the under eye.
Which is so good in that area.
So good. You can never have enough hydration under the eye. So to finish the eye, we are going to do a little eyeliner. This is Ceracryl in black. I like to just tight line underneath, and this fills in any gaps, but also makes the lashes look thicker. Now we're gonna add a little razzle dazzle to the eyes.
Yes, give me razzle dazzle.
I've been loving the Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow duals. And the good thing about these is you can go right in with your fingers and press it right into the lid. I feel like they always just elevate every look.
Do you see the sparkle? Is
She's
the light
shining.
catching it?
So to amp up the look, I really like to take a bullet brush and load up the product and really saturate the inner corner of the eye and blend it over the beginning of the eye. And again, with this, you don't have to be too precise. You really just place and blend. So I'm using the Lancome Lash Idol mascara. This one is not waterproof. However, there is one that is waterproof. So if you're a crier or you're gonna get a little teary-eyed on your wedding day, recommend waterproof always. So I'm actually gonna have you give this a good curl.
Okay, no pressure.
No pressure, you've got this.
So this is the Sephora Lash Curler. Wow.
Makes a huge difference, right? So
Yes.
doing mascara first and then giving it a curl really allows the curler to like grip the mascara and hold the lash up. We're going to start with color correction. This is the Ceracryl Sorcery,
That's a good name.
because that's exactly what we're doing.
Exactly.
It's magic. And then take a fluffy brush and blend it out. I don't take it all the way up to the lash line. I like to leave the lash line natural. It's like a natural smoky shadow. When choosing a color corrector shade, you always want to be mindful of your skin tone. So if you use something that's too light, you can tell because it will be a little ashy. And if you use something that is too dark, you'll also be able to tell just because you can see the color corrector underneath the concealer. Now we're going to conceal. I'm using the Patrick Ta Major Skin Soft Blur Brightening Concealer, which these are self-setting. I like that aspect because you don't have to use a lot of powder,
Especially for mature skin.
which she does not have. The
You
mature skin is
guys.
not in the building.
Thank you. Can I just say, Dion has the softest touch.
Listen, can we please get that on camera? Because I practice on my boyfriend and he swears I'm the roughest person
No
ever.
way. Absolutely not. Yours is so soothing. I also love how your Midwest accent pops through.
I'm trying really hard to not sound country right now.
It's so good.
Like,
Mascara.
so I like to place the concealer and just blend the edges. So don't go into like the body of the product, but just right along the edge.
Brushes make such a difference too.
It makes all the difference. The right tools go a long way.
I elevated my brush collection and it's been a game changer.
You know?
Sephora brushes are,
Top notch.
yeah, when you want to be harmonious with your makeup, I'm learning. The right brushes really help with that.
That's very true. A lot of people think it's, oh, I need this product or that product. And honestly, it's the tool first. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to contouring. So this is my favorite part. I really like to sculpt a face. And we're using the, again, Patrick Ta, and she's chiseled. This is the Cream and Contour Powder Bronzing Dual. And I'm starting with the cream on a Sephora 56 brush. I'm using something that is a little denser and fluffy as opposed to something that's very like precise because I don't want lines. Load the product into the brush and then press it onto the back of my hand. And I'm kind of pressing and a blend at the same time. So I'm not really putting the product in the hollow of the cheek, which is here. I'm placing it slightly above to give her a lift, but also blending it down into the hollow. So the majority of the product is sitting like right on the cheekbone, and then the residual is underneath. I feel like I use the same kind of like patting motion to initially apply everything because we are depositing pigment, and that's the best way to get the pigment on the face. Versus like if you start by swiping, then you are buffing things and moving them around and not really placing the pigment. So I usually do everything with like a pat motion. I always like to call this the magic line. So I usually don't apply contour or bronzer beyond this, like everything back and up. Now that we have her contoured, I am going to use the Patrick Ta blush. This is the shade Not Too Much. As you can tell, I absolutely love this one, but she just works for most skin tones and it's not
Too much?
too much. It's literally not too much, just like the name. It's like the perfect shade for most people. And I'm placing this right at the tops of the cheekbone and blending it towards the apple of the cheek. So kind of creating a little sandwich between the concealer and the contour. And I still have not blended the concealer because the longer you let the concealer set, the more coverage you get.
Why am I today years old learning this?
Okay, so now we're going in with foundation. I'm using the Patrick Ta Major Skin Hydrolux Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. This is
Say that 3 times fast.
can't even say it one time fast. This is one of my favorite foundations for bridal just because it's luminous and glowy and it looks like skin and you can like layer this baby and it doesn't get heavy and cakey. I'm using a fluffy brush. This is a contour brush, but I like this because it doesn't apply too much foundation. And I'm going in and I'm applying it in between the highlights and the contours and slightly going over the concealer and the blush. A good tip about, honestly, less is more. So when you get hot and you get sweaty, if you have a bunch of layers that are melting off your face, it is very hard to maintain that and also touch it up. But if your layers are like nice and light, it's very easy to go in and add creams or liquids back on top of powders or use a little setting spray to kind of like rehydrate everything and then blend it back out. So once I have the foundation on, I like to go in with a clean puff, like there's nothing on this, and really press this into the skin. And this just kind of makes sure that everything is like nice and harmonious. Now I'm gonna go in for a little nose contour. She's chiseled the cream of contour powder from Patrick Ta on a Patrick Ta brush. And I like to do my nose contour a little different. So I don't go in and draw the lines. I literally just place the contour color all over the nose. I know this looks a little crazy. Here's the thing.
I feel a lesson coming on.
Like trying to be super precise and like draw lines on a nose and not make it too wide or too narrow is time consuming. And it's also just kind of unnecessary if you think about it because you're going to blend it out anyway. So by just placing the shadow and then going in with your concealer and placing the light where you need it, you've done all the work. So now I'll just go in with a little bit of concealer, starting on the side of the nose and place the light where I want it. So I'm painting with light instead of painting with the shadow. So doing the nose contour kind of in reverse. Blend that out and then go straight down the center. We just let that set and you've done a nose contour without having to worry about lines and stripes and all of that.
Dion said, forget everything you know today.
Forget the mess. Like, baby.
Forget it all.
Forget it all. So now we're going to move on to setting the face. So I like to give the face a little spray. I'm using the One Size translucent powder. On the puff, we're just gonna set the rest of the face. And this just helps the makeup last throughout the day. And this is where I go with my finger and I blend out the nose contour. I'm using the Powder Melt by One Size Beauty. And this is going to melt all the powders in that we just placed on the face. And this is when I like to powder contour and blush the face. So I'm using Rare Beauty bronzer, Sunny Spirits, and I'm starting at the forehead. And again, just pressing this into the skin. And I'm bringing this down to all the areas that we cream contoured, blending this into the eyeshadow. This one I'm taking all the way to the top of the ear,
I'm
down the side of the ear.
rewiring my brain on how I'm going to do my makeup from now on. Wow.
So now using the same brush, I'm going into MAC. This is Ginger Look blush. And again, I'm placing that on the high parts of the cheek and blending towards the apples.
Another favorite.
You know, she has been all over the world.
it.
She's been through it, and I'm holding on. I will not let her rest.
What shade is it?
This
Please
is
hold.
ethereal? No, exhilarate.
Exhilarate.
This is exhilarate.
Why do you love this color so much?
just because it's like not too gold, not too champagne, it's not pink. It's like the perfect highlight shade. And I'm placing this at the very high points of the cheek, placing a little on the forehead because we like a forehead glow, and at the top of the lip. Or I'm using the Makeup Mario lip pencil in Toasty. I'm very particular about lip shapes. So I really like lips that look pinched and not wide.
So more of a pout.
More of a pout. I am going all the way into the inner part of the lip, on the outer corner, on the top and the bottom, and I'm blending down and over the line as we get to the center of the lip. And I'm making sure if I start on the outer corner on this side, I also start on the outer corner of this side and go in the same direction. That way you're not going up on one side and down on the other. Now we're going into the lipstick. This is South Shore by Makeup by Mario. And I like to apply the lipstick just in the center of the lips. Go in and define this one more time. I feel like this is flattering on literally everyone. I'm using Patrick Ta. This is 2ccs. I like this color, nice and pink without being too purple, but also not like a baby doll pink. I feel like this is just a really good natural lip color for just about everyone. So this bridal look is really straightforward. Like I didn't mix a lot of colors like on the lips or the face. That way, if you're watching at home, you can also recreate this. Or, if I wanted to send my bride out after we did her makeup, she can touch up her lips on her own without having to worry about so many different products. For the very last step, I like to take a little bit of pressed powder. This is one size pressed powder, and I like to reinforce the highlights, especially like under the eye and the areas where you want your makeup to be a little more matte. I like to go in and reinforce those areas and like really press it in. I like to take the same bronzer that we used on the face and just run that right under the eye. We can take a little mascara. And what I like to do for the bottom is touch the waterline and pull it straight down. And then before my bride blinks, I like to take my finger and just pinch off any excess. That way we don't have to worry about a bunch of product falling down if she cries or getting really clumpy. The bride is ready.
Dun, 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 dun. No. It's gorgeous. It's just so beautiful but natural. I look like me, which is really important.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I want makeup to just enhance whatever I have going on and not completely transform me to something that I don't recognize when I'm done in the chair and look at
looking
myself.
like natural is always what you want on your wedding day because you're getting married and you don't want to be a whole different person walking down the aisle.
I mean, I do want him to recognize me.
I mean, right?
Nailed it. 10 out of 10. This is so nice.
Perfect.